I'm Emily.
And I'm Ethan.
We're traveling across America in search of its most captivating communities. Join us as we recount our adventures on the road. This is
Nomad Life!
Our destination was the New Mexico mountains, but we had a lot of country to cross in order to get there. First struggle that we have encountered of the trip is an infected thumb, which sounds like nothing, but it is so ridiculously painful. I couldn't sleep at all. I thought I must have, what's that really bad infection again? Staph infection. And I was I didn't even know if I was gonna make it through the day. I went to the Minute Clinic, still hurts really bad, and it's preventing me from being super helpful with packing the car and stuff, because anything that touches my thumb at this point is just horrible pain.
Emily seemed miserable.
We made a quick pit stop at the Leaning Tower of Texas before continuing on to our campsite at Clayton Lake State Park in eastern New Mexico. People have lived at Clayton Lake State Park from the earliest known occupation period in North America. Archaeologists have revealed a rich prehistory and history with artifacts and features dating from as early as 9500 BC. New Mexico is full of dinosaurs, and we're about to go see one now. About 100 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, the area that is now eastern New Mexico was located on the western shore of a shallow sea we call the Western Interior Seaway. As dinosaurs walked the shores of this ancient seaway, they left tracks. Many million years later, the tracks were exposed after the construction of a dam and operation of the spillway for Clayton Lake. So we're about to see were made by 4 different kinds of dinosaurs, both herbivores and carnivores.
Iguanodont.
There's the lake, and when they put the dam in, I guess they were finally able to see all these tracks.
Hey!
The town of Clayton has just under 3,000 people, but there wasn't much going on when we stopped to get coffee.
Nico, just lay down. Just lay down, let it happen.
The dogs always try and come up front, so we bought this net to hang between the seats so that the dogs wouldn't jump up front. However, it has thus far not worked out in our favor, because the bungee cords that came with the net are super cheap and they just keep snapping and flying all over the place while we're driving.
Is we're gonna put it on this rope, put it on this rope,
Try his head.
and then we're just gonna drape this over like so. Try, get back behind the net. Get behind the net.
Is the water on their side or our side? Poor Chai.
I know, it's unfair. That was a mean thing. I'm sorry. She very clearly does not like this net. Look at this. Boom. Problem solved.
Good girl, stay there until they will water. They're all just gonna cave in and
Yep.
jump over it and
that's
tear
probably
it
gonna
down
snap
to
and
the
hit me in the
water.
eye, and I'm gonna careen into a ditch.
I mean, don't do that.
Okay, what'd you do with
Let's
the thing
go.
I handed you?
Having gotten in a nice dose of nature and history, we hit the road and continued our trek westward. Slowly but surely, the scenery changed from desert to mountain. We pulled into a cute town called Eagle Nest just as it started to rain. The locals were super excited about the rain because New Mexico had been going through a drought and even was suffering from wildfires. Well, we had an afternoon hike planned and it rained. So we just serendipitously happened to be in a very cute town when it happened, the town of Eagle Nest. So we stopped here and explored and went to some galleries and now came to the saloon where we are drinking Land of Mañana. And its motto is beer now, everything else mañana.
That's wisdom in a can.
We continued westward along the top of New Mexico's Enchanted Circle until we came to the Wild Rivers National Recreation Area near Cuesta. This is where the Red River and the Rio Grande meet, both forming giant canyons. Shockingly, we were the only people there that night, probably due to the rain. It was amazing to have this beautiful place all to ourselves. We camped out and then the next morning headed down to Taos for breakfast. Or at least we tried to, but everything was really crowded and had long waits. So we ended up giving up and just going to a gas station for some yogurt. That's not to say that Taos isn't a wonderful place. I have been before. It's full of art and really cool architecture. It's obviously close to mountains and skiing, so it's an ideal location for many reasons, but that wasn't the focus of our destination today. We were heading to the Greater World Earthship community, which is just west of Taos in a town called Tres Piedras. In order to get there, you cross over a very large, scary bridge spanning the Rio Grande. Everybody stops here to take pictures and do little hikes, and so of course we had to partake in the local tradition. It's kind of crazy, all these people are just like standing along this road to see this. It's similar to the view we saw yesterday though, and yesterday we didn't have to deal with all the noises of traffic, but this one's closer to Taos, so that's why people are here.
Something about this view is like very dizzying, like you start to spin a little bit. I don't know if it's like the way the canyons slope
Look
down.
at the teddy bear way down there.
But it's not like being on a high building. It's like it's sucking you into the canyon.
So yesterday...
I gotta wait for the right angle. Can't just start talking.
So anyway, yesterday we visited the Wild Rivers Recreation Area, which is where the Rio Grande and Red Rivers meet, and they both form these huge, jaw-breaking canyons.
It'll break your jaw if you're not careful.
Jaw-dropping canyons, which were just absolutely incredible to see. And had I thought through this a little bit harder and we had known where we were going to hike beforehand, then we totally could have camped for free because it was BLM land. But instead, we watched the sunset there and then went on a long, windy, treacherous mountain drive in the dark to our hip camp, which was probably unnecessary.
But it's not an
Definitely.
adventure without a long, windy, treacherous drive.
Yep.
And now we're here in this beautiful canyon in New Mexico.
And we're on our way to go see the Taos Earthships. In 1971, a visionary environmental architect named Mike Reynolds built a home out of used aluminum cans, bottles, and tires. He called it an Earthship. Like a spaceship, an Earthship was self-sustainable and able to take care of all basic human needs. It has solar and/or wind energy, thermal/solar heating and cooling, water harvesting capabilities, and contains sewage treatment, and is built from all natural and recycled materials. Some called Reynolds crazy, but many others were inspired and jumped in to learn and help. By the mid-90s, he had enough followers to start a community. The goal was to provide a safe haven for those who, like him, wanted to practice sustainable living ideals. The community has an educational visitor center which you can tour for $8 per person. However, because people live here, the homes themselves are not typically open to the public. Many of the finer models have video tours available on Mike Reynolds' YouTube channel. There are also Airbnb Earthships in the community, but they were a little out of our budget.
I feel like the Earthships are a great way to not only save the planet but also connect with like-minded people and make like a sense of community. Everybody's kind of working on a like-minded project and growing food, and you have to rely on everyone for participation, and it's more of a community environment than being in like a little prison cell of an apartment or a house where you probably never even meet your neighbors. So I like that aspect of the Earthship community.
I was surprised to read that in a place as dry as Taos, these homes could utilize rainwater catchment. The roof of a 1,500 square foot home can collect almost 990 gallons of water from just 1 inch of rain. The community uses gray water and black water to stretch their H2O even further.
I really like all of the bottles that are used and recycled and like stuck into the walls, because when you're inside the Earthship, when the light reflects through them, it makes it like a kind of a psychedelic disco ball kind of vibe.
My parents fell in love with the Earthship concept, and in 2009 they broke ground on their own bermed home outside Colorado Springs. Earthships run in the family, basically. One of the many reasons why they're so appealing is that my parents already know the ins and outs. Then, of course, there's also the big windows with the beautiful view, the cozy atmosphere, especially in the winter, the knowledge that you've done what's ethical when it comes to eco-friendly building, and really, Earthships are just all around cool. Thanks to the state of New Mexico for hosting us. Where will we end up next? Stay tuned till next week to find out.